All right. Hey everyone, how's it going? So for Indy Pro 2000, this week we have Laguna Seca. It's a very twisty technical track full of challenging corners where you can actually just have such little room for error. You can put a one wheel off the track and you would go for a spin because there are not runoff areas, more so sand and gravel everywhere. So lots of elevation changes as well. So you really get a feel for the car and how the weight shifts. So if you like these kind of circuits, this is your circuit. It's a very high downforce setup as well. I'm actually using the baseline setup from iRacing, where it's the downforce setup. And then I made a couple of very quick tweaks where I lower the tire pressure by one click and then the ride height by two clicks. And that's it. And this pit exit is super tricky. You want to actually get out as soon as possible, especially if you're pitting in a race situation, because there's no pit speed limit in that section. So it's important for you to get that right and not lose too much time. All right, so let's warm up the tires a little bit. As we go for our out lap here, and then we'll go for a quick hot lap. All right, so this is the famous corkscrew, and I brake right before the 3. And this corner, you actually find so much time. Alright, let's go for our hot lap. I'll talk you through it. So, coming down this straight, you actually want to take it as if it's a corner since it's not really straight. You lean onto the right, brake right at the line. This is a double apex, and then you want to go to the left, brake at the 2, and then this is a lift corner. You lift a little bit. I lift probably a little bit too much there. I lost a chunk of time. And then this one, you brake at the 2 and then you trail brake in, shift down as you're turning and slowing down. And then brake at the 2, gas all the way out. Try to use all that straight if you can. And then come back here, brake right at the line before the 3. Don't try not to go too deep into the corkscrew. You can go for a nasty spin, and then you do a slight lift to tuck your nose back into that. And then this one, it's faster than you think it is, because that camber again helps you turn. And this one, you brake right at 2. You look for the apex. You gas out very smoothly. Try to avoid the AstroTurf, because that's a 1X. So let's take you through this lap. In the replay mode, where I can actually do some pauses and actually tell you a little bit about my lap. So first, as I mentioned before, the straight's not actually straight. There's actually a bit of a slight left curve here, and as well as elevation changes. So you actually do want to be able to take this and open up the turn as if it's a corner. So when you go through, what I do is I actually lean on the left to take the shorter distance. And then once I get to here, I open up the corner and pull towards the right of the road. And I brake right at the line. And sometimes I, cheat a little bit and take a little bit of space on the right-hand side here. And it's actually quite beneficial for me to open that turn 1 and turn 2, where it's a double apex, right? So I would brake, and then tuck the nose in, use the throttle to help you steer, and then slowly gas it all the way out. And then you want to get immediately back to the left. Right after 2, you want to brake, and then hit that apex and throttle out. Now here, this corner is a no brake corner. You sort of just lift. I do a big lift and then tuck the nose in as the weight transfers, and then I go right back on the gas pretty quickly. Now, be careful with this red curb here, is quite high. If you do hit it like what I did right here, you actually lose a bit of time. So I think my lap here was, I don't know, like 117 something for this one. I probably could have got a little bit lower, but hitting that curb makes me run wide, and that's not good. And sometimes if you hit it hard enough, I think you can knock your car so off balance that it spins. So I ran a bit wide here. And then as soon as you finish this sort of sweeper, you want to go back to your right and then brake right before the 2 marker. And you want to brake and then trail brake as you steer in, as slowly lift out the brake and then turn. And then downshift as you're turning so that you still get a little bit of engine braking. And that's what actually gets your car to tuck in. There's slight banking, but there's a lot of speed for you to gain here with trail braking. And it's if you're learning for the first time, I would say try to brake in a straight line and then do the turn and the gas out. But as you get more and more confident on this track, try to brake a little bit later and into the turn and try to use that trail brake more. I find that in here I'm constantly gaining more time, and I bet you I can probably get another half a second here. And I haven't discovered it yet, I haven't found it yet, but I'm confident that I will. So as you go down here, I think this one is a very interesting corner, and I tap on the brakes very quickly right after the 2 marker, slow down a little bit, and I actually point my nose towards the apex right pretty early, and then let the car understeer, and then I sort of understeer to the point where I'm now not pointing to the red curb, I'm now pointing to this tree, right, to the edge of this curb now, and then I'm hitting the gas already by now, and basically hitting it, slowly rolling it on, and then trying to steer. Now watch this really big dip here. This big dip helps you a lot when it comes to turning, but you got to be careful and get it right, because if you hit that left curb again, like this red thing is so high, it unsettles the car and you could be sent into the wall there. So I would say, depending on what your risk tolerance is, if you have a lot to lose, then yeah, maybe take it a little bit more conservatively and just run a little bit slower. But if you have nothing to lose and you're 10 seconds down in last place, and you're trying to catch the next best person, then yeah, go all out and try to see if you can even skip over it. And sometimes you gain a full I would say half a second, because this long run up the hill is actually such an important part. So anyway, too much blabbering here. Let me continue. Full throttle on. You want to try to stay as much to the inside on the track as much as possible. It's so easy to get caught out onto one of the curbing here, and then if your car is low, you can actually ride that curbing, it'll suck you into the wall. So let me actually just go back here, play it at full speed. So brake, dip, gas out. And then I brake right at the 3 marker. Alright, so this corkscrew, it's the very famous corkscrew. I brake right at the 2, and then this is probably not the fastest way around, actually. I lost a bit of time there. But what you can do is, as soon as you brake to here, you should actually go down here. I should actually turn in a little bit earlier, and I probably braked a little bit too late. I went a bit deep here, because I should be ideally cutting through here like this. I've ran way deep onto this one. But sometimes this is what you need if you need to pass somebody or defend, because guess what? If you're going in deep like this, somebody can't really pass you. And you also prevent someone from running into the back of you because you ran deeper. They're braking a little bit earlier than you. So depends on what the situation is, but this is definitely not the fastest way around the track. All right, let's get back in here. So when you get into this corner, this is a very interesting corner. I've seen a couple different ways of how people take it. I go on the right hand side here and then full throttle until I start the decline, and then I lift off a little bit until I recognize that, yes, I'm gonna make this corner. My nose is pointing towards the apex, full throttle up. But I know some people go through this corner slightly differently. They would turn in a little bit later and lift off earlier, and then tuck in the nose and do a straight line through here. So I've seen a couple lines, different lines, but I find that line to be slightly more, I would say, risky, because somebody could slot onto the inside here like what I'm doing and they gain track position. So this is a good passing opportunity as well, because there are a couple different lines, and even if you're caught on the outside of this corner, you become the inside of the next corner. So immediately you want to flip to the other side here, and right after the two, you want to tap the brakes a little bit. This corner is deceptively fast. You actually want to brake a little bit less than you think you would, mostly because this corner is really cambered. So if you look at that banking, it would really help you turn, right? So as long as you can, again, point that nose towards that red apex there, you think you are going to miss this corner. If you look at this, you think you're going to miss this corner and you're going to run off wide, but that banking just pulls you back in. It's really important for you to not over brake in this corner. I was looking at, like, why am I losing so much time on this lap compared to other people, and this was one of the corners where I lost a lot of time because I was braking like it was a 90-degree corner, but no, it's a bank corner. You take it in basically as if it's almost a sweeper, which is insane to me. So as soon as you finish this corner, right after the two, brake hard, be careful. So many people spin here. Ooh, excuse me. And then right after you exit the corner, don't gas too early. Try to do it early, of course, but if you're qualifying, watch out for the AstroTurf, because the AstroTurf is an off track. So if you're here, for example, where the center line of your car is on the curbing, then you're safe. But if you're just slightly off, despite having your left wheel still firmly on the curb, you could be cited for a 1x off track, like what I'm doing here. Like, I got so many off tracks. So that's it in terms of this very quick run. So let me see what lap time we end up getting here. I think this was one of the faster laps, 117.7. So thank you so much again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide for Laguna Seca. I think we were around 1 second of what people consider an alien time on the iRacing forums. I think some folks are getting into the 116s now, 116.6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we're within 1 second, which means this will be competitive. And so I'm certain I'll be able to find more time as I practice more this week. But I hope this has been helpful for you. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you're new to this channel. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate all the support. Bye for now.